Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Del Barcy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe, give us a like, leave us a comment. We'd love to know what you think. This is a show where we speak to nurses all across the globe, anywhere in their nursing journey, whether students to retirees, and we talk about our challenges, our inspirations, our hopes, our dreams, our visions, things like that. So today my guest is Natalia Coggins. Natalia lives in Barbados in the West Indies. She's currently an RN student. She's in her third year of a 4-year program. She is currently working as a certified nursing assistant, and she's an entrepreneur. So welcome, Natalia.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay.
Alrighty. I am so happy that you were able to join me today. It's not very often that I get students, and I really think that students have a lot to say about where nursing is going and what they hope to see in their future. So I'm so happy that you're here today. But first of all, first things first, why are you wanting to become a nurse?
I wanted to become a nurse from the age of 13 years old.
Okay.
In terms of when I was transitioning to full form, you had to choose your career path. And when I was acknowledging other scope of professions and stuff, nursing became natural to me because my personality and the many talents that I had to offer, I thought that nursing would be a great field to be in and to pursue. So from 14 years old, I pursued on to my journey, choosing all the chemistry and biology and science subjects into having to get into that field.
Okay. And so you didn't go directly into it because you're a certified nursing assistant, or is that what did you do both?
Well, before that, doing the nursing, I also wanted to do children also because with my mind is always on business and I always looking to in terms of doing something different in life and having to be around different personalities. You always try to tweak and find ways to make things in the community, the world, better place. In terms of how people could cope with different stuff. And before I did the nursing, I actually got my footing into kids. I was teaching children in daycare.
Okay.
I was actually running it for the lady. I know to cook, clean, do everything. And I told myself, well, if I can do all of this, I can actually run a business and stuff like that. And I remember pursuing my dreams. Class would have already been started at that time, and I just went and pursued it. And the lady told me she don't allow people to join late, and I still insist her to let me join. I joined, and then 2 weeks after we had an exam, I got 54 without even knowing any backing of anything. So basically, that's how your journey started, and from there, then I never looked back into no other profession, but always stay on the course of path for the nursing, caring for people and stuff like that.
Okay. So as a student and an entrepreneur at the same time and working at the same time, what kind of challenges are you facing?
I would say mental health in terms of when people hear the word, it seems really bad because we don't understand the wider platform that it have or the diversities that it really talks about. When we hear mental, think somebody is crazy or depressed, but it also dealing with balance also in terms of life. Learn to balance my personal life, work, and studying.
Yeah.
And learning when to cut things out in terms of your sacrifice. You had to sacrifice a lot. And when you're doing things on your own with no backing, is even harder because every decision you make, you have to know that your wings are strong enough to sustain your decision in life. So you just can do things nilly-willy, but you gotta think the do's and don'ts and the repercussions and the consequences that will happen if you make the wrong move in life.
Yeah.
So challenges will be, we all know finance.
Yes.
Financing career nursing is not an area that you can just say, well, it's $2, but every aspect you have to invest in it. Long hours of studying,
Yes.
terms of subject, as you open one subject, it always leads into something else and something else and something else. And I find my view of nursing in terms of when people only look at RNs and think that, oh, you're an RN, so yes, I only see you as a nurse, but forgetting the other ones that play vital roles in carrying out the care for other people and their loved ones, because I find that people only look at one aspect of and say, okay, and if they hear nursing assistant or nursing auxiliary, they'll look at you like, oh, you're not a nurse, you're a
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I find that in our industry a lot. So I try to give people a different perspective that we all play a vital role in terms of we can't do of one, we can't do without the other, because we all
That's
need
right.
the eyes and ears, and something that someone will miss, you definitely need to hoping that you will see.
Absolutely. 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 So you mentioned before that you were interested with children.
Yes, please.
So would that be, is that what interests you as in nursing at the moment? Is that where you're leading towards, is in pediatrics, or are you still open?
I still open in terms of, I just believe my personality in terms of just that warmth caring that I have.
Yeah.
And I find honestly that this throughout my nursing career and running a business, you really have to respect people, different personalities and decisions. And I find that in that place in my life, I can navigate through people personalities in terms of respecting what somebody may not like or don't like, and
Yeah.
not taking it personally, because I
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
that people that come along take everything personally. So no, you are fighting with something that is really out of your control,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you lose sight of your passion in terms of allowing how somebody behave towards you and stuff like that. And running a business, you also realize that a lot of people are not really educated or doesn't know stuff like how we would
That
say
was, yeah.
in how we think. So their side is one side, but when they're working or they're in our position, then the respect is returned, because they'll be like, okay, I didn't know that y'all have to go through this or go through that. So I always don't take things personally when it comes to my personal life in terms of applying my nursing aspect into your
Yeah.
personal life. And I see that a lot of things that we stress about or hold on to doesn't make any sense.
Okay. True. Very true. A lot of things we hold on to don't really make sense. Don't really make sense. So you have been in healthcare now
Yes, please.
for a while. And so you have had the opportunity not just to observe, but to participate, and at different levels. You know, you're participating as a student, you're participating as a nursing assistant, and you're participating, you know, as a nurse in the near future. And I know that you have seen, um, you know, how it works or how it doesn't work. What would you like to see change, if anything, in nursing?
I will say people attitudes. Our attitudes
Or
in terms
attitudes? Oh,
not allowing, as I would have said before, not allowing nothing to really get into your inner heart or life, because that's where I see people fall along the way in terms of we take what somebody do or lash out and not putting ourselves in other people's shoes. So, and I also want to see change also along the nurses, is
yes.
that more love and compassion. And I find here where we are, everything changed in nursing. Like why may learn now, the next 2 years it changed because somebody may come out and say, you know what, that doesn't work anymore. So we're gonna do it this way, or we changing it that way. So I find that people that comes along think that what you're doing, we always try to pull down each other or criticize in
Yeah.
terms of staying together because you may do it one way, but that doesn't mean that your way is wrong or my way isn't right. It's just that we learn things differently. I have seen students that came onto me that in work fields that you will have to train them, that you see that their hand washing different. And in my turns back then, I was learning that washing your hands up here was for surgical. And now they're learning you to do everything one time. So and then students will stick out saying, well, I learned it this way, so my way is the
It's
right way.
right. Yeah.
I believe love, I would love to see love be the core in nursing, compassion, and teamwork. Teamwork.
That
I would love
teamwork thing is big. That teamwork thing is big. Yeah. And one of the things I have to tell you, and I'll tell you as you are coming along as someone, coming into the profession now. Really, I think one of the things that I want to see in terms of nursing evolving is that I want to see nurses take a greater stand in nursing, in saying who we are, what we do, what we want, what we need to care for, to do our job and do it well. Because for a lot of the time, the people who make decisions about what nursing is and what nurses get to do and are not nurses. Not nurses. And so I really am passionate about, I really want to see nurses step up to the plate a little more, and be a little more demanding, and strong because you know what, we are a powerful force, and I don't even know if powerful is the word to use, but we are a strong force, and we know who we are, and we should make sure other people know who we are.
So then I guess I believe that we should put more things into place of getting the word out there in terms of how people invest into digital and videos and short skits to see, hey, this is what a nurse day-to-day activities is in care of
Exactly.
somebody. And I guess that patients will get a better understanding and respect because they see that respect here, or I guess believe across the globe, isn't given or doesn't really stand firm because we don't stand up or show the world
Exactly.
this is
Exactly.
who we are, this is what we have to offer, and this is our vital role because we play a very
A
vital
very
role,
vital role.
and
Yeah.
not only in care, but sometimes you have to take on the roles of many different things in
Yeah.
crisis situations, um, just emotional support,
Yeah.
everything.
Advocate, support, the whole bit.
Yes.
Yeah. That really is one of the goals of this channel, is to allow people and nurses to see who we are, all kinds of different nurses in all kinds of different places doing all kinds of different things, but we are nurses, you know. Yeah. So let us talk about, well, what would you say is your greatest achievement so far?
I would say many.
Okay.
And one of my greatest achievements is my business,
Mhm.
Talicare. I say it's
Mhm.
like my baby because I created it from scratch. I drew the logo, invest tons of money into it, and gotten it to a place that it's at right now. And so I would say that's one of my greatest goals, and giving back. I always giving back to society in terms of
Mhm.
passing on my knowledge that throughout the life in terms of doing private work also with people. I
Mhm.
don't look at the big volume. I look at that each client that I have, and once they go away and they feel pleased with the service, and they also get knowledge in terms of going away with a greater respect for nurses and a greater respect for the profession and what we have to offer in society and stuff like that. So those are my achievements in terms of just changing one perspective at a time when it comes to nurses, how people view us.
Okay. So tell me, first of all, Talicare Nursing Services, right? Why Talicare?
Okay, so how it was created, people call me Tally for short.
Aha.
So I believe that when people see your business, they should see you, or when they see your logo, they should see you.
Mm.
And I remember back any time when I was creating a name, I sent out messages to all my contacts and I told them, give me feedback on some of the things that you see me as. And all of them came back with the word caring in it. So I put the two together, and that's how that was birthed for the Talicare Nursing Services.
Awesome. So what kind of services do you offer?
Right now we offer medication pickup and drop off,
Mm-hmm.
doctor visits, and doctor visits because not only taking someone, but I find the need that a lot of people don't ask any questions when they go to the doctor. They
Mm-hmm.
sit down and they go away, get medication. They don't understand anything. They don't ask any questions. They don't even know the side effects of stuff. And then when things happen, I also encourage people to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And we need to document a lot. We go to the doctor and we sit there and say, "Oh, doc, I had this headache 2 days ago," but we don't document things. So a doctor could only give you an assessment off of what you told them. And I believe if we learn to document our daily activities and when things happen and certain things that we eat so that people could get a better understanding of what's happening to the body, I really believe that. So that's how I say doctor visits in terms that you have someone there sitting, asking questions, and when you go there, you have a better knowledge of what is happening and
Yeah.
what is going on. I do private care in terms of hospital stay, residential care. I also allow nurses to travel in companionship. Like if people want to go on vacation, but they still want to take their loved ones, but they still want somebody to be there for them, I offer that service. And in the future, I'm looking to offer more services in terms of as you acquire better knowledge and different understanding that you could really branch off. And I will also like to be getting my business internationally in terms of spreading it across the globe and really allowing people to change. I want to change the view and how people see us and change the view how people see nurses and caring for them in the house, because I know for sure here we have sometimes people have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to nurses and having to hear our stories and stories when somebody comes into your house and trying to trust people into carrying out a care for them. So I want to change that perspective.
That is awesome. First of all, that is such I really that service that you offer, the doctor visits service, I think is so very, very, very important. Very important. And as you said, people go to the doctor and they don't ask questions. First of all, a lot of people don't even know what questions to ask, don't even know how to describe how they feel. And so if you can't even describe how you feel, you don't know what question to ask. And especially I'm a Caribbean person myself, so I get that they go and figure, well, if the doctor says so, then it's so. Um, and they leave, and you ask them, well, what did the doctor say? And he tell me something, something, something. So that is to me is such a huge, huge thing, and I really, really commend you for doing that because that's awesome. It's a huge service. Um, and such a big vision you have for it too. I love it. I love it. Okay. So you offer the doctor visits and home care and stuff like that. And you said that you're thinking of expanding those services.
Yes, please.
Like what?
Medication, in terms of really educating people on medication, I have found during the business aspect in terms of going into people houses, I also find that when it comes to medication, people don't take it to time and expect it to work or
Mm-hmm.
days, and then they go to the doctor and tell them yes, they were taking it. So I believe if we learn to like educate people and show them and guide them accordingly, I guess they will have a better understanding and taking better care of their health.
So basically, you actually are a coach.
If you look at it that, I guess like,
Give
so
yourself that, my dear. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
because normally when I take on clients for the first time, I go myself and
Mhm.
I do assessments in terms of hearing what families want.
Mhm.
They will tell me what they're looking for, timing, and I also try to guide them in terms of just an example where you may have a loved one, but you still expect mom to go into the shower. And when I look at your shower, the shower is built really high, and saying the person have Alzheimer's or dementia and cannot function or code in a capacity that you still want them to code in terms of they don't know how to step over. So even they're going to hurt themselves or somebody's going to get frustrated because you're going to have to keep caution them trying to get over their feet. So I always show people the safety side and the do's and don'ts and guide them through in terms of even if you got to lay down the bath or making it more suitable or
Yeah.
comfortable and
Yeah.
putting yourself in a person position in terms of rails that they can hold on to or a bath chair. So then people want them going to the shower and their feet hurt
They
them. They have
can't stand.
the feet is hurting, so they can't stand up a long period of time. But you still expect this person to function in a capacity. So I always guide people, get bath chairs so they can sit when they get tired.
Mhm.
So I basically just say like an hour and just really explain to people like the do's and don'ts and really accordingly because I believe that we really need to put ourselves in people's position
And then,
when
yeah.
and I know it's hard for family because they're still stuck with the image that how mom or dad was before.
Yes.
And oh, but she knows to do this and she knows to do that. But I try to get them to a place where there's a person that you're dealing with now. So this is situation we have to deal with and getting them to transition into that place so that everybody could carry out the care the best and the highest ability that we can in offering that service to loved ones.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, question. If what advice would you give then to someone who wants to be a nurse?
Well, my honesty
Your honesty.
to be a nurse,
Mhm.
there's my honesty because
Mhm.
basically just make sure your heart is in it. Because I find that people going into the profession now just because of money or because, being honest, COVID would have showed us uh,
Mhm.
different roles and positions, and people may think that this is something more safeguarded or more secure or is always needed. So we decisions are based on what may be going on in society or our culture at the time. So
Mhm.
I believe if you're coming out as a nurse, make sure that your heart is in it always. If you don't have your heart in it, then choose something else. And that's my honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you I don't think people I don't know if people understand I don't even want to say it's difficult, but how consuming it can be more than difficult because you go into it, it's hard work, but it can consume you. It can consume you. So you do so much, right now you do so much, and I see from talking to you that you're going to be doing a whole lot more.
Yes, please.
Um, but what I see um, is a person who also understands that you're a person, that you matter too. So, what do you do for self-care? What does self-care mean to you?
Okay, self-care is whatever makes you happy. That is my definition.
Okay.
I also draw, so sometimes I draw in my spare time.
Mm-hmm.
The beach,
Mm-hmm.
movies or TV, cooking,
Uh-huh.
so, and adventure. Like I don't stick with saying this is what I like. So I always try to find things that are different to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Things that I fear, I always try to face the fear and go after. And I remember at one time with the beach, I was sunbathed because I felt afraid when I didn't feel any ground on beneath my feet or the sand.
Mm,
And every day I will go throughout the week and say, like, just overcome that fear to eventually now I can swim out without having to feel any sand beneath my feet. So I believe that I love to challenge myself
yeah.
and challenging myself, it on taps different parts of you that you may not see before.
Mm-hmm.
And and I always believe to just be self care means to be honest with myself in terms of knowing when to take breaks, in terms of knowing when I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I believe that when we say self care, we just think about shopping and doing all these pretty things. But from my definition, is really being truthful to yourself in terms of giving yourself that love and attention and knowing when to say, all right, I need a break. Because we all know that if we don't give ourselves breaks, our body will give us the break.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. That's a fact. And I can see that. I can see that from looking at you. It shows. It shows. Not only are you you have that compassion for others, but that compassion also extends to you.
That's great.
That compassion also extends to you. Natalia, I want to thank you so very much for this conversation. I thank you so much for taking the time to do it. You have really, um, opened up a whole big vision for me, and I really, really wish you so much success with what you're doing. I can feel your empathy and your compassion coming back and forth, and I really have that respect and appreciation for what you do. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate so very much for taking your time and giving me the opportunity for a platform. And also, I just want to thank you as a person. And I just want to wish everybody out there continue to keep doing what you're doing. Continue to be loving and compassionate and don't allow anything to get into what we know we are capable of doing. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you.